everyone, and welcome to the HTML section of the learning path here at GoRails. This is going to be a really exciting section, really fun section. We're going to learn the absolute basics of HTML and a few of the lesser known features of HTML. So before we jump in, I want to point you to a page here that you need to keep handy. So if you go to developer.mozilla.org, okay, this will be the landing page that you hit on. What you want to do is go over to references here. When you hover over references, go to HTML. Since we'll be learning HTML, this page will be incredibly beneficial to have quick access to from this moment forward throughout the rest of your career, okay? Because inside this page, you can find everything you need to know about HTML right here, okay? So for example, if you need to know if an element exists or what elements exist that can be used for whatever purpose you're trying to add to your web pages, if you go to under references, HTML elements, if you expand this section here for HTML elements, you will see the list of all of the elements available to us in HTML. Now, some of these have this trash can icon next to them. Those elements are considered deprecated, so steer clear of using them, but you can see every element that exists here. Now that we have this page here and we know how to at least see the elements that are available to us, let's talk about what is HTML. So as displayed on the page here, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, okay? Now, this is what is used to provide the structure for your page, for your web pages, okay? So using HTML, we can, designate a section as being a heading section, maybe some paragraph sections, and a whole slew of other ways to add structure and meaning to your pages, okay? And we'll see this over time. So now let's address the issue of why learn HTML, okay? I'm going to be a Rails developer, right? Why learn HTML? Well, the answer to that is that you are going to be writing HTML in your Rails applications. So on the front end in Rails, they use ERB as the templating language, but that is only part of the equation. The main views are HTML plus ERB views in your Rails applications, okay? And you'll learn about views and stuff as you move into Rails, but just know that the main default way to write views in Rails is with HTML and ERB, with that blend. So you're going to use HTML all throughout your career going forward, okay? So learning it now will be a very good thing. Okay, so now we know what HTML is, again, Hypertext Markup Language. We know what it's for. It's for adding meaning and structure to your web pages. And now we know why we want to use it. It's something that we're going to use all throughout our careers, especially in Rails. If you're using Rails as a full stack framework, most likely your views are going to be HTML ERB views. Okay, so HTML is very important to learn. Not to mention, in Rails, you're going to be writing a lot of forms. Now, forms are an HTML thing. Okay, that's not a Rails thing. So we'll get into forms later on in this section, but these are all important things to learn. And learning them now at the basic foundation level will pay dividends going forward throughout your career. So with those points addressed now, let's get into things a little bit here. So most of us in our day-to-day lives probably come across documents, in the real world, whether it be, a book, a newspaper, something in the mail, any sort of document, a magazine, right? Now, if you open up one of these, I have such a document here. Okay, so here's a local monthly zine that's put out in New Orleans called Anti-Gravity. Now, if we flip through here, let's find a section here, okay? So here's an interview with someone, okay, in this magazine here. So you can see here, this page has structure to it, right? Like, there's an image here, okay? And then there's some headings, a whole bunch of paragraphs in here, right? And then it's got some quotes pulled out right here. So when we talk about structuring documents and using HTML to do it, HTML is what allows us to, in the digital realm, provide the same kind of structure to pages as things like magazines and newspapers do. So pulling some inspiration still from this local zine here, inside and beginning of it, there's a section listing out horoscopes for the month, okay? So you can see here again, there's a heading here, okay, kind of like the main heading for the page, right? A paragraph, and then there's some subheadings, one for each little zodiac sign, and then underneath each is the horoscope for the month, a little paragraph about it, and occasionally an image in here. So as a way to actually learn HTML versus just writing example headings and so forth and looking at paragraphs one by one, what we're going to do is we're going to learn HTML by actually building out a page. So what I'm thinking we'll do is we'll build our own sort of version of this page, okay? We'll have a heading for the overall page, horoscopes, we'll call it whatever we want, and then maybe for each zodiac sign, we'll get a little image of whatever the zodiac sign is. Cancer might be a crab, for example. We'll grab an image of a crab and use that, and then we'll put the subheadings for each of the names, and then maybe a sample horoscope, or maybe we'll just use some lorem ipsum and then link out to a full horoscope somewhere else on the web. That way we learn about anchor elements and linking to pages, and we'll go from there. So this will be kind of our goal for getting our first foundational bits of HTML together, and then from there we'll move into things like tables and forms. So with all that said, let's wrap this video up here and let's get started in the next one.